Okay, sheet 10. First question, just a couple of wee numeric questions for you to get you started. Remember bod mass, so we're going to do the 1.8 divided by 4 first of all. So you can either do it like that, or you can do 4 into 1.8, get your answer, and then do a takeaway sum, 3.1 takeaway. For the fractions, again, bod mass comes into operation, so we're going to do the 2/5 add the 1 1/3. Should be able to do that okay, guys. Remember, in maths, the off means 3/4, off means times, so it's going to be 3/4 times whatever your answer is. Question 2, remove the brackets. Well, we should be able to do that. Pair of brackets times a pair of brackets, get an answer. Similarly, pair of brackets times a pair of brackets, get an answer. Big takeaway sum. We've done loads of those. Question 3, factorising. Now remember, first thing we look for when we factorise is a common factor. So looking at the first expression, I can see 4 and 36. I know obviously that 4 goes into 4, but as it also goes into 36, my first part of the factorising there is going to take 4 as a common factor. Once you've done that, you can then factorise it further into another pair of brackets. The second part of the question, just straight in a pair of brackets. You've got two methods. Remember, you can do your wee table, or you can do what we were doing in class the other day by using the little squares in the strips. Question 4, solve the equation. So let's remove the bracket first of all. 2 times 3 is 6x, 2 times 4 is 8, take away 6 equals 10. You need to work out what x is, so that means the negative 8 is going to go over, the negative 6 is going to go over, you'll be left with 6x equals, so that will allow you to work out what x is. Question 5, again, factorising, so as before, common factor. So the common factor, 2 goes into 2 and 8, there's an x on both parts, so I'm going to put 2x on the outside, you work out what goes on the inside. And then the subsequent part of that question is you put whatever answer you got for the first part on the top, and then you need to factorise the bottom. Now you might think that factorising that bottom is going to take you a wee bit of time, but remember, the whole point of doing these questions is that brackets cancel. So whatever you get in this bracket here, you're going to have the same in this bracket. That should make your factorising a wee bit easier. Question 6, we're going to make use of two formulas here. We're going to use the formula m is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and we're also going to make use of y minus b equals m x minus a. So this is your x1, this is your y1, this is your x2, this is your y2. Now if you plug these numbers into that formula, okay, then you should be able to work out what your gradient is. And it should come out to be a nice wee simple fraction. Once you've done that, we're now going to put the fraction in for m, and you can pick either point that you want, either the first one or the second one, to put in for your a and your b. Okay, so if I pick the second one, then it's going to be y minus 5 equals whatever your fraction is, x minus 6. Okay, now the way we do the fraction, remember, is the bottom number of the fraction multiplies that side, and the top of the fraction multiplies that side, and then you just need to tidy it up. Question 7. Now this question is asking you to find the size of the angle at the centre. It just says internal, but it's supposed to say internal angle at the centre. So it's asked to find the angle, so the formula we're going to use is arc equals angle over 360 times pi d. What do we know? Well, from the question, we know that the arc is 48, so we can plug that in there. We know the radius is 30, so we can plug that in there for the diameter. And then we can take the 360 over, we can take the pi over, we can take the diameter over, and then we're left with angle equals, and just doing your calculator. Remember, when these things here, the 360, the pi and the d all go over to this side, they do the opposite. So here it's divide, so it's times. Here it's times, so it's divide. Here it's times, so it's divide. And remember the arc's 48. Question 8. We question about money. So in 2005, the oil company SO, that's what they posted their profits as, 1.82 times 10 to the power 10 pounds a year. How much is that per second? So we need to go from 1 year all the way down to a second. So how do you get from a year to a second? If you divide by 365, that will get you per day, because there's 365 days in a year. Then divide by 24, that will get it per hour. And I'm just going to say and so on until you get it per second. Question 9, complete the square. So, into a pair of brackets with a square on the outside. Obviously it's going to start x, since we've got an x there. Now you should know that what goes in the second part of the bracket is half of that number. Now what do? Well, we go, what's that number squared? How do I get to 7? And that's the part that goes at the end. Now for part B of this, you've got to draw that graph. Now I'm not going to give you the answer, so I'll do one similar. So let's just say the previous answer came out to be x take away 1 squared plus 4. Let's say it was that. Okay, so I've got to sketch it. So I need some axes. The take away 1 means we're going to move to the right 1. The plus 4 means we're going to move up 4. So from the origin, I'm going to go 1 along, 4 up, and that's going to give me the place where my graph turns. So that's what it looks like. I've drawn it straight away. All we've now got to do is add a few things in. What's the line of symmetry? What is this point here? Right, all of that you should be able to get from either the diagram or from the formula. Last part of the question, why does it not have any roots? We're going to have to use the discriminant. So we're going to use the b squared minus 4ac. So back to whatever the original question was, x squared minus 4x add 7. Okay, we're going to plug those values in here. You're going to look at your answer, and hopefully if it's going to be a negative answer, which means there isn't any roots. So when it says explain, it wants you to use that formula. Last question. So you have to, the vote increased by 15%. It went up to 2645, and you want to know what it was. Okay, so we're going backwards. So it's a reverse percentage question. So if the increase was 15%, that meant it was 115%, which meant the multiplier was 1.15. So the easy way to get the answer is to take that value and just do a divide sum. The other way we can do it is if 115% is equal to 2,645 votes, work out 1% and then work out 100%. So whichever way you're more comfortable with, you should get the same answer there. Okay guys, that's us.